Fact 1. Anglerfish use a bioluminescent lure, produced by symbiotic bacteria, to attract prey and mates in the pitch-black deep sea. The light comes from a specialized organ called an esca, which dangles from a modified dorsal spine known as the elysium, acting like a glowing fishing rod. This bioluminescence isn't unique to anglerfish. Lanternfish, viperfish, dragonfish, cookie-cutter sharks, firefly squids, and certain jellyfish all use light in the darkness too. They flash or glow to communicate, lure prey, camouflage themselves from predators, or attract mates, proving that in the deep ocean, light is the language of survival. Fact 2. At night, many parrotfish species secrete a mucus cocoon around their bodies from a gland near their gills. This slimy bubble masks their scent, protecting them from nocturnal predators like moray eels. It may also act as a barrier against parasites and keep sand and debris away while they sleep. Fact 3. Adult Komodo dragons, Varanus komodoensis, are apex predators with no natural enemies in their island ecosystems. Their only threats come from humans and rival Komodo dragons. Juveniles, however, are vulnerable to predation by adults and other animals, so they spend their early years in trees to stay safe. Fact 4. Both spiders and scorpions are arachnids and typically have 6 to 8 eyes, though the number and arrangement vary by species. Different sets of eyes perform specialized functions. Some form images, others detect motion or measure distance. Despite having many eyes, most species have limited vision and rely heavily on touch and vibration to hunt. Fact 5. The Patu marplesi from Samoa is one of the smallest known spiders, measuring only about 0.37 millimeter, small enough to fit on the tip of a pencil. On the other end of the spectrum, the Goliath Birdeater, Theraphosa blondi, from South America, can reach a leg span of up to 30 centimeters, nearly a foot, roughly the size of a dinner plate. These extremes show the incredible diversity within the spider world. Fact 6. The freshwater cnidarian hydra, related to jellyfish, exhibits remarkable regenerative abilities due to its simple body structure and stem cells. It can indeed survive being blended into small pieces, which then reorganize and coalesce back into a functional organism over a few days, forming structures like mini volcanoes before fully reforming. While extremely small fragments might not always survive, larger blended pieces reliably regenerate. Fact 7. The scaly-foot gastropod, commonly known as the volcano snail, has a unique iron sulfide shell formed from minerals in hydrothermal vent fluids. These snails thrive at depths of about 2.5 kilometers in the Indian Ocean, enduring temperatures up to 750 degrees Fahrenheit near the vents, making them one of the most heat-tolerant animals. Fact 8. Many shark species, like cat sharks, lay eggs in tough translucent capsules called mermaid's purses, made of collagen protein strands that mimic seaweed for camouflage. Inside is a nutritious yolk sac that sustains the embryo independently, so the mother doesn't provide further care after laying. The strands give the purse its distinctive shape and texture. Fact 9. Urban birds, such as house finches and sparrows, incorporate discarded cigarette butts into their nests. The nicotine and other chemicals in the filters act as a natural insecticide, repelling ectoparasites like mites, lice, and fleas. Studies show nests with more butts have fewer parasites, suggesting an adaptive behavior in polluted environments. Fact 10. Lobsters, Homarus americanus, have nephropores, that is urinary openings at the base of their second antennae, located on the underside of their head, essentially their face. They release urine mixed with pheromones through these nozzles, often spraying it directly at opponents during territorial fights to communicate dominance or attract mates. Fact 11. The Mary River turtle is an endangered species found only in the Mary River of Queensland, Australia. Its signature green mohawk isn't hair, it's algae that grows on its head and shell because the turtle spends long hours underwater in slow, oxygen-rich rivers. Made famous by photographer Chris Van Wyck, the punk turtle can also breathe through its cloaca, letting it stay submerged for up to 3 days without surfacing. Fact 12. The telescope fish is a deep-sea predator named for its tubular, forward-facing eyes, which are specially adapted to capture even the faintest traces of light in the ocean's midnight zone. These eyes give it exceptional binocular vision, allowing it to detect both the bioluminescent glows of prey and the silhouettes of animals above. Living thousands of meters below the surface, the telescope fish can even swallow prey larger than itself thanks to its expandable jaws and stomach. A true marvel of deep-sea adaptation. Fact 13. Draco volans, commonly known as the flying dragon lizard, is a small gliding reptile, about 8 inches long, native to Southeast Asian rainforests. It uses extensible rib-supported membrane wings, patagia, to glide up to 30 feet between trees, but it cannot truly fly. The name Draco evokes dragons due to its appearance, but it's firmly a lizard in the Agamidae family. Fact 14. The smallest poison dart frogs measure less than 1 centimeter, and their skin toxins, like batrachotoxin, can be extremely potent. However, some claims of 200 times more toxic than morphine refers to the golden poison frog, Philobades terribilis, which averages 2 centimeters, not the smallest species. Smaller frogs have high toxicity relative to size, but not precisely 200 times. Fact 15. Dermestid beetles are carnivorous larvae that efficiently consume soft flesh and tissue from carcasses while leaving bones intact, making them ideal for preparing taxidermy skulls. In forensic entomology, they help estimate post-mortem intervals by analyzing colonization and decomposition rates on human remains. Fact 16. In species like matabelly ants, specialized paramedic workers rescue injured nestmates during termite raids, carrying them back to the nest and licking wounds for 1 to 4 minutes to clean debris, remove parasites, and apply antimicrobial saliva, boosting survival rates to about 90%. This isn't universal to every ant colony, but it's a well-documented behavior in several advanced ant species. Fact 17. Tigers and some other big cats have ocelli, white eye-like spots on the back of their ears that serve as a defense mechanism. These spots mimic alert eyes, deterring predators or rivals from sneaking up from behind, especially when the tiger is drinking or cubs are following. Ear flattening can make them more prominent for intimidation. Fact 18. Cows and other ruminants like sheep and goats have no upper front teeth, that is, incisors. Instead of upper incisors, cows have a tough, fibrous structure called a dental pad. They use their lower incisors and their strong tongue to grasp grass and then pinch it off against this hard upper pad. Fact 19. Some spiders disguise themselves as ants by pretending their 2 front legs are antennae. This phenomenon is called myrmecomorphy, and over 300 species do it. Spiders wave their front legs in the air to imitate ant antennae. Fact 20. Australian funnel web spiders are capable of biting through shoes and fingernails. Funnel web spiders, like the Sydney funnel web, have powerful, sharp fangs that are known to penetrate soft shoes, fabric, and human fingernails. Fact 21. Velvet ants are not true ants. They are actually a type of solitary wasp. The females are wingless, which is why they resemble and are named after ants. Fact 22. The lesser water boatman, a tiny aquatic insect about 2 millimeters long, produces the loudest sound relative to its body size, up to 99.2 decibels, by stridulating, rubbing a file-like ridge on its penis against ridges on its abdomen to attract mates. This volume is comparable to a loud symphony orchestra or rock concert. Fact 23. When roosters crow, the wide opening of their beaks causes their external auditory canals to collapse fully, covering about 50% of the eardrum with soft tissue and acting as natural earplugs. This anatomical adaptation, unique to males, protects their hearing from the intense 100-plus decibel crow, preventing self-inflicted damage. Fact 24. Before refrigeration, rural Russians and Finns added live brown frogs to milk churns to keep the milk fresh for several days. In the 1990s, Russian biologist Albert Lebedev discovered that the frog's skin secretes antimicrobial peptides, such as bombinins and temperins, which inhibit bacterial growth, including E. coli and Staphylococcus. This explains the effectiveness of the traditional folk practice in preserving milk. Fact 25. Octopuses have 3 hearts, 2 branchial hearts, which pump blood through the gills, and 1 systemic heart, which circulates oxygenated blood to the rest of the body. Their blood is blue because it uses hemocyanin, a copper-based molecule, instead of iron-based hemoglobin. Hemocyanin is more efficient in cold, low-oxygen environments, perfect for octopuses. Fact 26. Certain species of assassin bugs, such as Acanthaspis petax, stack the carcasses of their prey, often ants, on their backs. This corpse camouflage likely deters predators by making the bug look larger or unappetizing, and may also mask its scent from other ants. Fact 27. Nautilus shells grow in a logarithmic spiral, maintaining the same shape as they grow. However, it's not an exact Fibonacci spiral. While similar mathematically, the nautilus growth pattern doesn't match Fibonacci ratios precisely. Fact 28. The rigid shell of a sea urchin, called a test, is made of interlocking calcium carbonate plates. These plates are arranged in a pattern of pentagons and hexagons, much like a geodesic dome or soccer ball. The pattern isn't perfectly regular like a manufactured ball, but the geometric resemblance is striking. Fact 29. The heaviest animal in the world is the blue whale, an ocean mammal that can weigh up to 200 tons and is considered the largest animal to have ever lived on Earth. The African bush elephant holds the title for the heaviest land animal, reaching weights of up to 6 tons. Fact 30. The heaviest dog breed is the English Mastiff, with a record-holding individual named Zorba, weighing 343 pounds. While their average weight typically falls between 120 to 230 pounds, their immense size has been noted throughout history for its use in battles and as a symbol of power and loyalty. Fact 31. Sea otters possess loose, flexible skin folds under their armpits, called axillary pouches, that function like pockets, allowing them to store tools such as their favorite rocks used for cracking open shellfish. Observations show some otters reuse the same rock for years, or even their entire lives, treating it as a personal tool. Fact 32. Tardigrades, the water bears, are microscopic extremophiles capable of surviving in nearly every Earth environment and even outer space. They endure extreme heat up to 302 degrees Fahrenheit, cold down to minus 458 degrees Fahrenheit, and ionizing radiation up to 6,200 Gray. And they can enter a dormant ton state for decades. Fact 33. Tanzania's Lake Natron is a highly alkaline soda lake with natron concentrations creating a pH of 10.5 to 12, comparable to ammonia, which has a pH of 11. This caustic environment calcifies deceased animals by rapidly dehydrating and mineralizing soft tissues into stone-like statues. Fact 34. The peregrine falcon achieves dive speeds exceeding 320 kilometers per hour, which could rupture lungs from air pressure shock waves. Bony tubercles in its nostrils disrupt and redirect these waves, enabling safe respiration, a design biomimicry principle applied in high-speed jet engine inlets to reduce turbulence. Fact 35. The African gray parrot is renowned as the most vocally mimetic bird with exceptional cognitive skills. Individuals like Nkisi have demonstrated vocabularies over 800 to 950 words in context, far surpassing most parrot species. Average grays learn 60 to 100 words, but outliers exceed. Fact 36. Certain sacoglossan sea slugs, such as Elysia, exhibit extreme autotomy. They intentionally sever their heads from their bodies, often in response to parasites or damage. The discarded body dies, but the head survives by drawing energy from symbiotic algae, regenerating a complete new body, including heart, digestive system, and nervous system, within weeks. This was documented in lab observations where heads healed the wound site and began regrowth within hours. Fact 37. Seahorses produce audible clicks by amplifying jawbone snaps during courtship dances and mating rituals, which researchers describe as singing or serenading to synchronize partners or ward off rivals. They also make growls in distress, but the song is more percussive than melodic. Still, it's a well-noted acoustic display during pair bonding. Fact 38. Larvae of the peppered moth are twig mimics that express light-sensitive opsin proteins not just in their eyes but across their skin cells, allowing them to detect and match background colors for camouflage. In a 2019 University of Bristol study, blindfolded caterpillars, with eyes covered in opaque paint, still altered their body hue to blend with twigs of varying shades: white, green, brown, black, confirming skin-based color vision. Fact 39. Female moorland hawker dragonflies employ thanatosis, that is, death feigning, when pursued by aggressive males post-mating. They abruptly stop flying, plummet to the ground, and remain limp and motionless for minutes until the suitor leaves. This extreme tactic, observed in Swiss Alps populations, reduces harassment energy costs and drowning risks from forced copulation attempts. Fact 40. Adult Luna moths emerge from pupae with vestigial mouthparts and no functional digestive system, relying on fat reserves from their caterpillar stage. Their sole role is reproduction. They live about 7 days, mate frantically, often multiple times, lay eggs, and starve to death without feeding. This is a common trait in the giant silk moth family to prioritize energy for offspring. Fact 41. Black panthers are not a distinct species, but black pigmented variants of either leopards or jaguars. The dark coloration results from excess black pigment overwhelming the typical rosette patterns, which remain visible up close under certain lighting. Fact 42. Unlike most felids, jaguars are proficient swimmers capable of traveling several kilometers in water and actively hunting aquatic prey, including fish, turtles, caimans, and even larger crocodilians, using ambush tactics in rivers and wetlands. Fact 43. The Alaskan wood frog, lithobates, survives sub-zero temperatures by freezing up to 65% of its body water into ice crystals, halting its heartbeat, breathing, and brain activity for up to 7 months. It thaws naturally in spring using glucose as a cryoprotectant, resuming normal functions without lasting damage. Fact 44. In the early 1920s, Gambusia fish, also known as mosquito fish, were introduced to Sochi's waters to prey on malaria-carrying mosquito larvae, effectively eradicating local transmission. The city unveiled a bronze statue in 2010 costing about 100,000 rubles to honor them. Sochi has reported no indigenous malaria cases since the 1950s. Fact 45. Black kites and other raptors like whistling kites and brown falcons, collectively called firehawks, in northern Australia intentionally spread bushfires by picking up burning sticks or embers in their beaks and dropping them in unburned areas to flush out prey like lizards and small mammals from hiding. This behavior, observed by Indigenous Australians for millennia and confirmed by modern studies, aids opportunistic hunting during fire seasons. Fact 46. The male deep-sea anglerfish permanently attach themselves to a female, fuse tissues, share a bloodstream, and become a parasitic sperm-producing appendage. This unusual reproductive strategy is known as sexual parasitism. The male bites onto the female, and their tissues and circulatory systems eventually merge. The male essentially degenerates, losing its eyes and most internal organs, and its sole function becomes to provide sperm when the female is ready to reproduce. This permanent fusion is an adaptation to maximize reproductive success in the vast, dark, deep sea where finding a mate is extremely rare. Fact 47. The vaquita is the rarest marine mammal on Earth and is critically endangered, with current estimates in 2025 indicating around 10 individuals or fewer. It is endemic to the northern Gulf of California, Mexico, and has an extremely limited range. The primary threat to its survival is entanglement and drowning in illegal gill nets, especially those set for the critically endangered totoaba fish. Fact 48. Mudskippers are amphibious fish that spend 3/4 of their life out of water. They can drown if they don't get enough air, which can happen if they are kept submerged for too long in water with low oxygen, or if they cannot gulp air. Mudskippers absorb oxygen through their skin and the lining of their mouth and throat, that is, cutaneous respiration, when out of water, provided they keep moist. They must periodically retreat to water or moist mud to prevent drying out and to wet their gills. Fact 49. Tigers appear orange to trichromat humans, who see 3 primary colors but effectively blend in as a shade of green or gray to their dichromat prey, like deer and boar, who only see 2 primary colors and are red-green color blind. Most mammals, including the tiger's primary prey, are dichromats, meaning they have only 2 types of functional cone cells in their eyes. This prevents them from distinguishing between red and green wavelengths. To a dichromat prey animal, the tiger's orange fur appears to be a shade of green that effectively matches the surrounding foliage, providing excellent camouflage. Humans, as trichromats, see the bright orange clearly. Fact 50. Golden zebras are extremely rare and exhibit amelanism, a condition in which melanin is absent in their black stripes, giving them a golden-brown appearance. Unlike albinism, which results in a complete lack of melanin throughout the body, amelanism may only affect certain pigments, so these zebras are not true albinos. This condition highlights the diversity of pigmentation patterns caused by genetic mutations in animals.